السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أنا اسمي جمال الدين إبراهيم. تخصصي أنا توكسيكولوجيست، يعني علم التسمم، وكنت بشتغل في الجامعة، لكن عندي معمل دلوقتي بتحاليل. أصل تخصصي فورنسيك. أنا كنت بشتغل في الفورنسيك من أواسط الستينيات أو من سنة 67 في نيويورك. اشتغلت في الميديكال اكزامينر حوالي 10 سنين تقريبا، وبعدين اشتغلت لحسابي بعد كده في معامل، وعملت شغل فورنسيك في حتت كتير، أوروبا وجوام وكيمن آيلاند، وسافرت كتير يعني في شغل الفورنسيك. وبعدين بس في حوالي 15 سنة اللي فاتوا بعمل كلينيكال توكسيكولوجي، علم التسمم الكلينيكي، يعني العلاجي، مش الفورنسيك اللي هو ما يقابل الطب الشرعي عندنا او الطب القانوني. يعني الطب الشرعي. نعم. Forensic is no. I'm just saying that what forensic means in Arabic. Forensic science, yeah, طب شرعي. Or right now I working. It's like a hobby. You can call it a hobby, and working on the medicinal herbs.
Hobby or that's a hobby?
Hobby. It's a hobby. Yeah, yeah. It's something that I like, and I do formulas for medicinal herbs. I have a successful one for hepatitis C and other diabetes and a lot of other things.
Do you have a website or anything?
Yeah, we have a website called heartsofherbs.com.
You have a card?
I don't have now, but if you go to the Google and say Gamal Eddin Ibrahim in Arabic or English, you will see a lot of lectures, you'll see a lot of TV interviews and things like that, inshallah. Just Gamal Eddin Ibrahim with G. Or if you put it in Arabic, it will be easier. But if you put it in English, put it with G, not J. Gamal Eddin Ibrahim. Yeah.
Gamal.
Yeah, GAMALELDINIBRAHIM.
How long have you been working with this type of thing, the medicinal cures?
Since 95.
Really?
Yeah. 95.
Did that bother the medical industry? Because I know that they want to sell medicine.
We are in my company, the one I have now, is our products are FDA certified. So we're certified by the FDA, and we have our own research published, and we give them our research, and they certify our work. So, and we send it all over the world, from Australia to the Middle East. Yeah.
Did that bother them because?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
يعني بتقفل عليهم.
We're still a small business. Yeah. So, maybe when we grow bigger, inshallah, that will bother some people. Yeah, if they approve means the product is good, but I don't think any one of us, me or the people who work with me, mostly my family, are good in business. So it's purely scientific. Now our good is in science, not in business. Yeah. So inshallah, if you can help us, we'll appreciate it.
Sure.
Shall we start?
Sure.
Yeah. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وسيد المرسلين محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وآله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Inshallah, I will say the lecture in English, but for the benefit of those people who enjoy listening to Arabic, I'll throw a few words in Arabic in case you like to hear some. For one reason, that there are words in Arabic that you can never translate. In fact, The title of this talk today cannot be translated, which we're going to talk, inshallah, about dhulm, or we can loosely translate it to injustice. And the reason it is not a proper translation, because injustice means the lack of justice. But dhulm, a word go beyond lack of justice. Lack of justice means there could not be, there can be justice, or with no hurt. But justice hurts. And we'll know why injustice is so bad. Let us start with the hadith. There is a hadith called, narrated by Abi Dharr al-Ghafari. And this is a unique hadith, very strange hadith, because it was only reported by Abu Dharr. No one else reported it, and only was mentioned in Muslim. No one else mentioned that hadith. So it's hadith of ahad, but due to the strength of the hadith, it's supported by tens of ayat from the Quran. The hadith is sahih to the best it could be, because it's mentioned in Muslim. And the hadith says, it's a long hadith, but let me just say the first line, which will show the related to our subject today. Abu Dharr narrated, Prophet ﷺ said, يروي الله فيما يروي قال الله تعالى يا عبادي حرمت الظلم على نفسي فلا تظالموا. Oh, my servants, I have made it forbidden for me to commit loosely injustice, commit dhulm. So do not exchange injustice among you. And when you look at the word dhulm, the one who commits dhulm, unlike any other adjective, the one who loves, the other one, the one who hates. The one who walk is the one that stand, or everything. The opposite is there is if one side is good, the opposite is bad. Dhulm is the only thing that it is bad, and the opposite of it is also bad. If you are the one who commits dhulm, the opposite is the one who receives dhulm. If somebody commits injustice against you, he is a zalim, and you are mazloom in Arabic. And the word, and when you trace dhulm, and dhulm is like a tree. Its root is in the heart of Satan. And the fruits sheds its seeds for those who are blind to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by their heart. So it's the seed of evil. That's why it's the only thing that Allah said, oh, my servant, I have made it haram for myself. Allah has made it forbidden for himself, and he didn't make anything forbidden for himself, although he can practice dhulm if he likes. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, with his dignity, forbade himself to commit injustice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Inna Allah, in Surah An-Nisa, the ayah number 40, Inna Allah la yadhlimu mithqala dharra. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never commit injustice as much as an atom weight. And he said in Surah Al-Kahf, the ayah number 49, وَوَجَدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. In the day of judgment, they found what they did in front of them, and Allah never, never commit injustice. And so dhulm can come different ways, colors, but it can be divided into two kinds, into two classes. One way is to commit dhulm against yourself, and the other is to commit dhulm. And I like to say the word dhulm for those who do not speak Arabic, so please learn a new word today if you didn't know it. It's dhulm, equal to injustice but worse. So there are two kinds of dhulm. You can commit dhulm against yourself. Like you make a sin that you don't hurt anyone else. If you commit a sin that doesn't hurt anyone but yourself, then that you are committing the first class of injustice. The worst one is that when you commit injustice against someone else. So we classify dhulm against yourself and against someone else. Let us talk a minute about the one you commit against yourself. Again, the one against yourself can be classified. We'll go more, scientific way about it. We'll classify things. The one that you commit against yourself, it's either hurts you only and not against Allah, and that's called sin. Dhanb. When you commit dhulm against Allah, it's called shirk. You associate one with Allah. But we say it in Arabic, ظلم في حق الله. You cannot say commit dhulm against Allah. Because Allah said, وَمَا ظَلَمُونَ وَلَكِنْ كَانُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. They cannot commit injustice against us, Allah says, but they committed against themselves when they committed shirk. And also in that hadith that I started with, hadith Qudsi, part of that hadith, يا عبادي لو أن أولكم وآخركم وأنسكم وجنكم and all, if all of you, jinn and ins, men, woman, good, bad, if all of you come as the worst, with the heart or the worst one among you, you will never hurt me. So you can commit an act against Allah that will hurt Allah. But when you associate one with Allah, you're only hurting yourself. So the hadith continue, I was going to mention. If you all together get to harm me, you will never reach it to harm me, to cause harm to me. If you will benefit, if you, all of you, the best of you, get together to benefit me, you will have no way to benefit me. The hadith says, if all of you will ask me, it will never, and I give everyone what he wants, it will never take from my kingdom as much as a needle being dipped in the ocean. So just to refer that. So let us talk about that first kind of dhulm. وإذ قال بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ قال لقمان وهو يعظه يا بني لا تشرك بالله إن الشرك لظلم عظيم. The meaning, oh my son, Luqman, as you know, the wise person, some scholars said he was a prophet, some people said he was not. Regardless, Allah praised him in the Quran, and he said he has a lot of wisdom. And he gave his son this advice, the very first advice. "O my son, do not associate one with Allah. For committing dhulm is a kind of great kufr. Committing shirk is a kind of great dhulm." So dhulm, like we started with, is the evil of all sins, to the degree that shirk is only a branch of that tree. He told him, do not commit shirk, for shirk is one of the greatest dhulm, injustice. Imagine again, dhulm is a tree, and the thickest branch is shirk. But the seed still in the heart of Satan. Why do I say this? You know, when the first time any one of the children of Adam, or the children of Adam, any human, heard the word dhulm from Allah, was Adam. When he asked him to introduce him to paradise, I say, وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةِ فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Do not approach this tree. He didn't tell him, do not eat from this tree. It's just like zina. You know, do not approach, do not look at a woman. That is haram. So you may like her, you may start the process of zina. So this is the same. Allah told him, do not even approach that tree. But Satan knew something about Adam from the hadith we know. When there's a hadith Qudsi that is not confirmed, but I will say it just to make my point. And it's written in the book called Bidayah and Nihaya by the Ibn Kathir. He said, when Allah shaped Adam before he blew his soul in him, he found that Adam is empty from inside. And then he kept going from his mouth and come out from his behind. And he said, that's easy. I can deal with that. He's not solid. So he has whims. He has desires. And he has instincts. So he worked on Adam instincts. What is the instincts of Adam? What is the strongest instinct that we all have? Definitely survival. We all in this life work hard for survival. You protect yourself to survive. You put yourself in luxury so you keep away from danger. Two things. The second instinct is to possess. That's why Iblis came to Adam and told him, قال هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى. O Adam, shall I tell you about the tree of immortality and a kingdom that will never perish? So he worked on his instincts. So Iblis studied Adam very well. Iblis is very intelligent. So when we deal with Iblis, we know his strong and weak points. He's very intelligent, but he has a weak point. He doesn't have patience. So you can beat him on the issue of patience. But whenever you feel you are about to be over or subdued by Satan, be patient. He cannot beat you in that. So he found in Adam these things. قال يا آدم هل أدلك على شجرة الخلد وملك لا يبلى. So Adam responded to these instincts naturally. by his fitra. He should have the command of Allah above that, above his desire. That's why when we ever get in a situation where our desires and our faith are in front of us, we have to make a good choice. You have to choose Allah. بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى. Always, whenever you feel attracted by anything in this life, a good car, good woman, good house, good food, whatever, think about Allah first. Is that okay with Allah? Does it stop my love to Allah, or Allah loves to me? If it doesn't, go ahead. But don't let the way of Allah, don't let this cut your way to Allah. So, the issue of dhulm is a big issue. That's why we will take today to show the second example, the story of Musa alayhi salam in Surah Taha. Maybe you concentrate more in Surah Taha because it's one of the best surah in Quran that shows you the two extremes. One that Allah told him, I made you for myself. وَاصْطَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي. Allah said to Musa, and I shaped you for my purpose. What is the purpose of Allah? اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى. Go to Pharaoh. He has committed, again another word we should learn today, طغيان, طغى. طغى, easy to translate in English, is overflown. Where do I get that meaning? The Quran says, إِنَّا لَمَّا طَغَى الْمَاء حَمَلْنَاكُمْ فِي الْجَارِيَةِ. When, in the other ayah, Allah said, during Moses' time when the water is overflown, we carried you on the ship. Nuh alayhi salam. إِنَّا لَمَّا طَغَى الْمَاءُ حَمَلْنَاكُمْ فِي الْجَارِيَةِ. We put you on the ship. So طغى means overflown. So can you imagine when you have a pot and you fill it with injustice, with dhulm, and you keep committing injustice, fill your pot, and it's overflown. This is called طغيان. طغيان, overflown with injustice. Pharaoh has committed that. First, he said, I'm your Lord. This is bigger than to kill, because committing shirk, killing, maybe you repentant, but shirk, what can you do with shirk? He didn't make shirk, but he said he's God himself. Now, did Pharaoh think that he really God? Of course not. Why? Because he has needs. Now we'll go to the thinking of Pharaoh, just to see a good picture of Pharaoh before, we make a big thing out of him. He's still a man that needs food. He needs other sex. He needs to go to the bathroom. He gets sick. He gets tired. He needs to sleep. He doesn't have any of the quality of a God. But Allah tells us, no, he didn't think he was God. Because Allah said in Surah, Allah said, وَأَدْخِلْ يَدَكَ فِي جَيْبِكَ تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء في 9 آيات إلى فرعون وقومه فلما جاءتهم آياتنا مبصرة قالوا هذا سحر مبين. Then Allah said, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُم. And They denied that they are slaves, but inside they knew they were. They saw the ayat, and they saw that they are not gods. They are not the masters. But in front of people, for arrogance, they denied it. But deep inside it was there, that he's a slave.
زي إبراهيم مع النمرود لما اتكلموا عن الأحياء والموتى.
No.
طلع فوق ما قدرش يتكلم. قال تأتي بالشمس من المشرق. والله يأتي بها المشرق.
Yeah, that reminds me of another example. Yeah. واستيقنتها أنفسهم ظلما وعلوا. The ayah number 14. I think Surah Al-Naml. The other example, the other proof that Pharaoh didn't think he was the God, when he asked Haman, his prime minister, he told him, "Oh Haman, build for me a stair, I can go up to heaven." He knew Allah is in heaven. So I can see the God that Musa is talking about. The tyrant always think all he has to do to convince the people he controls as an image that he knows himself he's not. And Allah subhanahu, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَاسْتَخَفَّ قَوْمُهُ. This is Surah Al-Zukhruf, ayah number 43. فَاسْتَخَفَّ قَوْمُهُ فَأَطَاعُوهُ إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا فَاسِقِينَ. He made little of their minds, and they became obedient to him because they were people who deviate. Fasiq. Fasiq is the one who deviate. And the word fasiq came from, you know what the fasiq is? That word came from? It came from, they say, a female rat, a female rodent. When it comes out of its hole, it's endangering herself very much, because if somebody will see, will kill her. So she made fisq. They call the little female rat in Arabic al-fuwaysiqa. The one who commit fisq, means it endanger herself. So the person who fasiq means a person who deviated, who did something to endanger himself. إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين. And now when you look at the Muslim world, not only the Arab world, but the rest of the Muslim world, you found that, at least in my lifetime, I contemporary the king in Egypt. I lived during the king, and I lived during the revolution of 1952. And then came Nasser and took it, hijacked it, and he worked on the minds of people who were so naive to the degree that they almost worshipped him. Nasser was almost worshipped in the time that he ruled Egypt. Even though he made the defeat, even though he lost Jerusalem, even though he lost Sinai, even though he guided other countries to lose their land. And I apologize for people who love Nasser. Yeah. But this was one example, to the degree, I'll tell you, to the degree I was maybe about 13 that time in the 50s. And in Ramadan, when I follow my grandfather to go to Taraweeh, the rest of the family laugh at me. How you go? You go for prayer? Are you really? Yeah, everybody's laughing. And that's why it's like an insult. When you pray, in that time when we pray, we used to lock the room, like a new Muslim in this country when he accepts Islam with his family. Yeah. We used to lock the room to make prayer because you don't want anybody to laugh at you. So there is a degree when the ruler come to a point when he made little of the minds of his people, to the degree that they lose the common sense. Until today, there are people who say Nasser was a hero. And he's the one that built that system, that intelligence system, mukhabarat system, the military system when everybody spy on the other. It was not present during the king time, but he built it in about like 4 years from when he took office, and left us with that huge military intelligence system that has no job but to spy on the citizens, the people of the country, leaving the enemy without any attention. Anyway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described these people by saying, فَاسْتَخَفَّ قَوْمَهُ فَأَطَاعُوهُ إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا فَاسِقِينَ. Now, when Musa alayhi salam received we said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Musa to confront the tyrant. He told him, وَاصْطَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي اذهب أنت وأخوك بآياتي ولا تنيا في ذكري اذهبا إلى فرعون إنه طغى. Now when there is injustice, we can see how it is being handled. What is the proper way to handle injustice, especially if it comes from a tyrant? Of course, it's not going to be by power. It's not going to, because two people cannot defeat the army of Pharaoh. You have to have the support of Allah. And it's called the theory of dafa, the theory of resistance. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ came 2 times in Quran. And the time in Surah Al-Baqarah, لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضِ. And the other ayah, أُذِنَ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتَلُونَ بَأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى نَصْرِهِمْ لَقَدِيرٌ الَّذِينَ أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ. This came in the people on Badr. So it's always Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks some people to confront injustice. You cannot leave injustice untouched. You have to resist it. If you don't resist it, and you can by any way, then you are committing sin. You become part of it.
Silence is compliance.
So if we say dhulm is the worst of all evil, at least you can call it munkar. من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده إن لم يستطع فبلسانه ومن استطاع فبقلبه وهذا ضعف الإيمان. And you don't have to have an equal power. And this is the mistake that Pharaoh did. Pharaoh counted on his technology. And always the one who commit the injustice, the dhulm, always like to maintain the territories. For example, قالوا, like the man in Surah Yasin, or let us say in Pharaoh, قالوا أجئتنا لتخرجنا من أرضنا بسحرك يا موسى. Always worried about the land. They feel that if the land cannot survive justice and injustice together. They have to have the whole land for themselves, because light and darkness cannot be in the same place. You know, if you cannot make half of this room lit and the other one dark, because the light will move to the other part. You can make it all dark black. So it's always, the injustice always like to maintain all the territories. Like in Surah Ibrahim, وقالت رسلهم وقالوا لرسلهم لنخرجنكم من أرضنا أو لتعودن في ملتنا. Yeah, like when somebody comes and give the da'wah, the other side has to say, if you don't shut up, I will kick you out. Like also again in Surah Yasin. واضرب لهم مثل أصحاب القرية جاء المرسلون, and then the people call لنخرجنكم من الأرض وليمسكم منا عذاب أليم. The only way they can stop the people from giving da'wah, they say, you have to go or we punish you. And the man who came to give da'wah, they killed him. Always the one who commit the dhulm, always worry about the territories. So when Pharaoh confronted Musa alayhi salam, and Pharaoh brought his technology, and he thought that technology will work. So he said to Musa, bring your own technology. And the technologists themselves, when they were overpowered and they knew they have the best, they found that it's not a matter of technology. It's a far more stronger power than just the human power. And that's why they went down and prostrated. They found that it's not a matter of technology. It's the power of Allah. They know that Allah is there. Allah has the power. Allah gave these people the power to win. So they believed in Allah. So when you go back to the point, if the ruler will commit injustice, he will commit it against the people who are next to him. The people next to him, they will commit it against the people who are under them. And it goes from the highest class to the middle class to the low class until it comes to the person himself. And then the person himself will commit injustice against his own family. You look at the societies where there is injustice, there is a tyrant, you see that the man would always commit injustice against his family. Why? Because he receiving it from someone above him, and so on and so forth till it go to the highest. So injustice is contagious. You receive the ball of fire. You receive it and you throw it on who is after you. It is contagious. So this is the and it can bring about destruction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never said He destroy any place except for those who commit injustice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُهْلِكَ الْقُرَى بِظُلْمٍ وَأَهْلُهَا مُصْلِحُونَ وَكَذَلِكَ أَخْذُ رَبِّكَ إِذَا أَخَذَ الْقُرَى وَهِيَ ظَالِمَةٌ إِنَّ أَخْذَهُ أَلِيمٌ شَدِيدٌ وَكَمْ قَصَمْنَا مِنْ قَرْيَةٍ ظَالِمَةٍ وَأَنْشَأْنَا بَعْدَهَا قَوْمًا آخَرِينَ. Allah would never destroy any society. When you see the word town in Quran, the word qarya in Quran means society. Allah would never destroy any society unless that society is committing dhulm. I'm saying too much? Is it too long for you? So, Musa alayhi salam was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him to fight injustice. When you look at Musa, one of the Anbiya of Ulil Azm. Ulil Azm means there are about 5 prophets that Allah called them the prophets who have the grit, azm, power of determination. And Musa was one of them, Isa alayhi salam was one of them, Noah was one of them, Ibrahim, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He confronted 4 powers. He confronted the tyranny of Pharaoh. He confronted the corruption of his prime minister. He confronted the power of the wealth of Qarun. And he confronted the corruption of the children of Israel. You know, when you see the 10 Commandments, you see when Musa alayhi salam was disappeared for 40 days, they commit adultery and all that. The people, the children of Israel was the worst of the 4 things that after Pharaoh that was confronted Musa alayhi salam. This is, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of justice says, وَعَنَتُ الْوُجُوهُ لِلْحَيِّ الْقَيُّومِ وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ حَمَلَ ظُلْمًا. And when you see the word khaba, khaba means a loser. Not only the one who there is a khaba means really a failure, worse than a loser. A failure that have no hope of succeeding. The one who fails, maybe he can succeed more. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ حَمَلَ ظُلْمًا. There is nothing that can get someone in hell more than dhulm. The thing about dhulm is when you commit dhulm, you are almost intoxicated to know that you are committing dhulm. So you cannot see by how you feel. Sometimes we commit injustice against some people, and it's not bothering us that much unless we think about it. When Shaitan put that seed of injustice in your heart, he anesthetize you, make it numb for you to feel that you're doing this. Like you're stepping on somebody's toe. He may be suffering very hard and you don't feel it. We always question ourselves, are we committing injustice against our children, our wives, those who work for us, those that we deal with? For if you think about it, every person, not only every person, every animal that you see in your life, every plant, if you deal with it, even one moment, you are either committing injustice or that one committing injustice against you. Let us see, I meet you in the street one time, just passing by a supermarket. And you glance me and I glance you. That's it. If you know me and you don't say Salaam Alaikum, you made injustice to me. If you smile, if you didn't smile, if you frown in my face, even if you meet somebody you don't know, if you frown in their faces, only for a second, that you're not going to meet that person forever after that. that count in your record as injustice against one person. So can you imagine the people you deal with every day? How much seconds and minutes and hours we have to worry about it. Injustice comes, like I said, with anesthesia. You don't feel it. The shaitan, when he throws the seed, he throws it and you grow it in your heart and you enjoy it unless you come back to your senses and realize that you are committing injustice. Maybe we stop here for questions. Okay, inshallah.
حضرتك أنا حسب علمي حضرتك بتشتغل مع الأعشاب أو تكتشف أشياء بالأمراض أو حاجة زي كده. فكيف ترى قدرة المولى عز وجل في التعامل مع هذه النوعيات من الكريشن يعني؟ العشب والنبات كل دي مخلوقات. بتشوف قدرة الله فين؟ ممكن أترجم إنجليزي أو حضرتك ترجم؟
Yeah, brothers say how you see the power of Allah in treating with herbs. The problem, well, let us see about where we are now. The problem is most of the science that we have today, unfortunately in the last 200 years, was developed by non-Muslims. No, in the last 200 years. 200, let's see. We are enjoying cars that engineered by non-Muslims, airplane engineered by non-Muslims. All the medicine that you see, my specialty toxicology. Unfortunately, the word toxicology means the poison describes the drugs that you treat everybody with. For example, digoxin. It's supposed to strengthen the heart muscle, but if you give 10 times more, it will kill the person. So we followed the science that were developed by non-Muslims that followed the philosophy of science that follow the principle of trial and error. So in any research, any one of you who had research in the lab, you follow the trial and error until you reach a conclusion. You try this way, then you try it the other way, you try a third way. And this is like somebody in the dark. But let us say Muslims are the one who started this. Let us say Muslims didn't go down. They would have taken the thread from the Prophet ﷺ, the lead, to be guided more in a lit mind. If you see the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, you find, for example, let me give you one example. Ulcer was known for a long time. A lot of people, we all know, people died with ulcer. Ulcer is laceration in the stomach and this. Ulcer? Stomach ulcer. Qurha. Only 1982, they found that ulcer is caused, that's 82, that's only 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, was caused by H. pylori, a kind of bacteria. Now they treat ulcer with antibiotic. Only 3 weeks and it's all gone and never comes back. You see, they had to go all the way, and they give Zantag and Tagament and all that, and all the things, all the drugs that cause side effects. And when you take the Tagament or cimetidine, you see the side effect, you know, your reaction on your chest and skin and all that. And then they found out, or at least the Muslim discovered, if you follow a hadith Prophet ﷺ mentioned, do not blow in the food and do not eat hot food. لا تنفخ في طعامك ولا تأكل طعامك ساخنا.
طب والسبع عجوات.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you. So they found out that H. pylori lives in the cavity of the stomach of everybody, almost everybody, with a very low dilution. بتعيش في تجويف الفم. And it has the characteristics of that it grows fast in hot media, unlike other bacteria that, that bacteria dies at 60 or 70. This one, in the environment of 60, 80 degrees, they grow very fast. So when you blow in the hot soup, you induce the H. pylori, the bacteria is in your soup. So it multiplies a lot, and you drink the soup, and then you have a lot of H. pylori in your stomach that keep working on your stomach and eat your stomach. If you eat hot food, you will make it multiply in your mouth cavity, and you swallow it, and it goes to your stomach, causes that ulcer. All you could have done is just follow the advice of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You don't get ulcer. It's one example. So you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed certain herbs in such a way that it can fit with your body. For example, there is a fungi called al-kam'a, or they call it turfle in English, desert turfle. Call it al-kam'a, that lives in the desert, and that kind of fungus, Prophet ﷺ said this cure the eye disease. Yeah, and you see how many people with eye disease and nobody used it. People who used it, they found that it heals, and so on and so forth. Other thing, let me tell you one more thing. Milk by itself. You go to the supermarket and you found 1%, 0% fat, 1%, 2%, and whole milk. Long time ago, maybe 5 years ago, they discovered that whole milk help you to lose weight. If you take the 1%, it can make you gain weight. And they hidden that fact, scientific fact. Why? Because the industry need the butter, they need the cream, they need to sell you that 1%. One of the house need 1%, the other need whole milk, and the other doesn't need any fat. Why? They found out that the composition that Allah made in milk is made in such a way that there is a balance between carbohydrates and fat. So the sugar of milk is not accepted in the body. It has to convert into glucose. It's lactose. The body doesn't take it. It has to convert into glucose so the body can take it. When you drink a whole milk, what will happen? Your body, your liver is going to convert lactose to glucose on a very slow rate. Why? Because the fat in the milk will dilute it, will act as a buffer. So the glass of milk can supply you with a little amount of glucose in a period of about 3 hours. So people who are diabetic can drink a cup of milk or a glass of milk or 12 ounces of milk without any raising their sugar. But they found that the one who gets the 1% or 0%, due to the absence of fat, the whole lactose converts into glucose in about 15 minutes. It pulls his sugar up very high. So his body is confronted with a lot of sugar right away. The body doesn't use only very little and save the rest. Save it as fat. And then starve after 2 hours. So you become fatter, but you need to eat also something else. So the heavenly composition of the milk is perfect. Prophet ﷺ said, milk is the best food. Whenever he offered some food, he said, oh Allah, provide us with better, khayran min. When he drinks milk, oh Allah, give us of that more. Because there's nothing better than milk. And you can measure a lot of other things you find. And now science is going to the direction of nature. All this medicine that is driven from chemicals are not really helping that much. The side effect. Side effect is a big problem of the pharmaceutical industry. تفضل.
The poison to kill the people, the poison. And we take medicine from the poison. How?
Well, because some poison at certain degree help the body. Okay. At certain concentration. You know, before I came to Egypt, I worked about 6 months in a place called Serum Institute. We used to inject horses with venom, snake venom, little doses so they can form antibodies. And then after 3 months, we take the blood and concentrate it, and we make serum for those who get bitten by snake. Yeah, it is tat'im. So the body can take your immune system can handle little amount of poison. Let me give you one more example. You know, honey. Why you don't give children honey under 1 year? Because honey has spores. These spores, you can say, good virus, if you like to call it. Too weak to attack the body of a normal person above 1 year, but strong enough to stimulate your immune system. So it helps your immune system. So if you drink honey, your immune system is better, not like sugar. And so on. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even would give you little thing of that may be harmful otherwise to help your body. So the body is built that way, that your immune system can handle some what otherwise called poison to be stimulated to fight other diseases.